Hello, and welcome to Public Affairs. My name is Emily Totten, and today we are talking about Random People Theater and our 2005 production of Randomonium.
Woo!
Yay! And I have a few people here with me. So I'll say my role. I'm a producer. This is my third year producing. I'm also a writer and an actor and a director. And I also have a co-producer here, so Galen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am Galen, or at least that's what they tell me. This is my first year producing, and I write and direct and act and do sound and lights and other things, all kinds of things. We do many things.
Yes.
And we also have with us two of our cast members here. Sarah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sarah Budnick. This is my second year in Randomonium. And I've now been able to have the joy of working my first play Emily directed, and the play I'm in this year, Galen is directing. And I'm having a blast.
And we're so happy to have you.
Oh.
I'm Andy Caffrey. I'm playing in Emily's play this year, The Seance. And this is my fourth play, and I'm also on the board of the Redwood Playhouse.
Thank you. So we pretty much come and do public affairs every time we have a show coming up, and usually our shows always are somewhere in April. We try to work around Easter, but we have a process. It's like a year-long process. And starting in August, September, we have several different writing workshops. There's like a series of writing workshops that's focused on writing for the stage. And this program initially started out as a monologue program, but now we've expanded it to full. We actually kind of love having plays that have many characters, because then we're able to get a big cast of people together and it feels like a really strong community.
Yeah, the general idea is to get people out there doing stuff that is fun and engaging, and also to just sort of develop our skills as writers, actors, directors. Jenny Edwards was the gal this last year that hosted those writing workshops, which we all participated in. And then we go into auditions in about January once we've selected the pieces that we like.
You can come to the writing workshop and there is no obligation at all to have your piece on stage. If you don't want to, this is it's like its own separate thing. It's kind of teaching you how the format of a play and some of the basics of dialogue and just really simple things. And then if you do want your play put on stage, you can submit it. And by October, we have a little panel of directors, and we, this past year, actually, unfortunately, had to turn down a few scripts because we had so many submissions.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Also, you don't have to be interested in writing to go to the writing workshop. I've gone there several times. I've not written a play, but I really enjoy doing the practice readings for the writers of the plays so that they can actually hear actors deliver their plays and not just hear it in their head. So that's another reason you can practice and try. I was a pirate, I was a clown, I was all these things I'd never been before, and that was because of the writing workshop.
But once there is a good set of about 6, I think we've decided about 6 plays.
It's been 8 in the past. This year we decided we had I think 7, and then we had one that we had to pull. But yeah, enough for a good show, but not so much that we're running close to 3 hours. So
like last year, which this year we have a really reasonable
Yes.
showtime.
Like the length of a movie.
Yeah. And so then auditions happen in January, and they're completely open, and we try to get a role for everybody if it's at all possible. And we have about 10 weeks to work on our pieces before this show.
I want to step in and say that last year, being my first year, I had heard about the auditions like an hour and a half prior here on KMUD and took a chance, went into town, didn't know anyone. And right off the bat, everyone was so welcoming. And Emily turned around, looked me in the eye, and I wasn't really volunteering to try out, and she,
It's like, who's Sarah?
yeah, got me right up there, and I immediately felt a connection to each of these individuals here and fell in love with it and hope to stay.
Oh, we love you. And have you ever acted before?
In high school and middle school a lot.
And that's one thing, is it kind of seems like that's really your only opportunity to act. Is I've acted in high school, but it's as an adult, where are you able to express or practice these skills? And so
Besides retail?
Well, and I was a bartender for,
There you go.
it was my stage for a long time, and I didn't have my stage and I found it again.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's important, I think. And the next closest theater to us is Ferndale, Ferndale Rep, which is great, but that's over 45 minutes away from us. So this, I think, is a really cool program that's serving our really small community.
Plus, it is not repertory theater. It's extraordinary because it's all plays written in Humboldt County. And so it's very organic to the lives that we lead here in Humboldt County. So you're never going to see any plays like this in any other theater.
One thing that we realized the other day, so Galen and I are both pretty new to the producer role.
And doing an amazing job, I might ask. That's a lot you guys have taken on.
You say that now.
Well,
But it kind of trying to figure out a few things, we realized this year is the 20th anniversary of this show. Even though it started off with a different name and started off pretty much just as a monologue project, it's the same show, and here we are 20 years later.
Yep.
wow.
So that feels exciting.
Yeah, I think this is probably I think it's 7 or 8 years now that I've been involved with it, and gradually accepted and took on more responsibilities, to the occasional detriment of my cast and but it's a really fascinating thing, because community theater is doing like the best that you can with what you have. We don't have a big fancy budget. We don't have, and so all the props and everything is stuff that people put together. It's basically a DIY theater thing, and we've been able to really kind of find a voice for this show each time, and to allow different people to sort of volunteer and participate in things. Everything from the sets to the moving of stuff during the plays, everything requires a person, and we have so many really dedicated and talented people that lend their talents to this production, and it's amazing watching it come together.
Yeah, and it always ends up, it's very unique. I just want to plug the show dates really quick.
Yeah.
So it's this week, and we're kind of, last year and this year, we've been trying out a few new things with show dates. So our opening night is Thursday, April 3rd at 7 o'clock at the Redwood Playhouse in Garberville.
Doors open at 6:30.
And Friday is also at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday and Sunday are both matinee shows starting at 2.
And doors open at 1:30.
So no Saturday night show this time.
No Saturday night show.
And like we said, the show runs about 2 hours. So really decent, fun. And I'd say it's pretty upbeat. You never quite know what you're going to get script-wise. And sometimes it can be heavy, and that's good too. Like it's nice to express all the different emotions, but we have a pretty fun show this year.
Yeah, there's a good blend of different kinds of comedy and some more serious moments, but overall I think it's a good balance. It's a very good balance of subject matter and writing styles and directing styles. So I'm really looking forward to it.
without giving away too much, do each of you want to just say a little bit about the role that you're playing?
Sure. I am acting with Emily in a piece written by Utah Blue, directed by Owl of Thank Jaw It's Friday infamy. And I am a kind of a nervous professional who is attempting to get better at being on time to mixed results.
Yeah, I'd say he's playing my boyfriend, and
You just have different styles that you two are melding together.
it's
Or
kind
not.
of
Finding
very
your groove.
relatable to anybody who's been in any relationship at all. Yeah.
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 It's hysterical.
And you, Sarah, what are you playing?
I'm a maid. Whether you trust me or not, that's up to you. Let me change your towels, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we actually have a sound clip. Maybe we'll end up playing
Okay.
of you. You do a great Wisconsin accent.
Aye, Upper Peninsula, Michigan.
I was guessing Canadian. So I'm pretty
Say
close.
yeah to the UPA.
And what about you, Andy?
I play a skeptical Victorian gentleman named Uncle Edwin, and my nephew is taking me to this seance, and I am not going to have anything to do with supernatural things. And there are 3 other plays about pirates, clowns, and fairies, the kind with wings.
So yeah, we like you said, you're in Galen's piece. We have Utah Blue as a writer. Andy is actually in the piece that I wrote. And we have Daniel Murchison as another writer. Deborah Morton is a brand new writer to the process. And Taylor Tillman is another brand new writer to the process. And it's just such a pleasure to have both of their pieces in our show this year.
And so again, these started in a writing workshop that we all participated in on different levels, and they've been developed and directed and fit to the stage. So it's been a long time coming, and we're ready to get going.
I'd like to just remind you that you are listening to Public Affairs on KMUD, and we are covering the upcoming Randomonium show this upcoming weekend, April 3rd through 6th at the Redwood Playhouse in Garberville. So if you have any interest at all in this process, you don't have to act. It might sound like writing and acting is the main bread and butter of the program, but there are actually many other roles that we're interested in having people participate in. So there's been kind of a shift in the program. A lot of the people who have been probably in the show 18 times, 15 times, are moving out of the area, or various life things are happening. So there's a lot of people are leaving, there's new people coming in, and we're in need of directors. And so I don't know if, Galen, you want to mention anything about the directors program that we have, and how, if you're interested in directing, how you might go about that.
Yeah, so generally speaking, and this has not always been the case, but for as far as the production goes, you will first be an assistant director, and so you will help already experienced director and bounce ideas off of them and start to get a feel for what it's like to manage actors. And again, this is a small crew, so by director we also mean like you will decide, a director decides how the play is lit, what sound effects are used, what kind of sets are constructed, what kinds of props will be employed. All of that stuff generally comes from the director. And sometimes actors will step up and have ideas for things, but it ends up being usually a very collaborative process. So the assistant director can at times, be an assistant to the director and help them get those things together, or help them coordinate stuff as far as costumes and sets and things like that. And then once you've spent a year as an assistant director, then you have the opportunity to to direct if there's if there's an appropriate piece that you're interested in.
So it's really learning the ropes.
Yeah, you kind of just and to a certain extent with all of this stuff, you have to go through the process before it clicks just how many details and little complications and things can come up in this kind of stuff. It's part of what makes it really fun. There's a lot of room for creative expression there, and but it's definitely worth watching someone else do it and helping them out just to get an idea of the enormity of the task.
Definitely. And then we have light crew. And so
Yeah.
we usually have Gary Quinn as our light person, and we love Gary, and he is amazing, but he wasn't available this year.
Yeah.
So we've had a few people step up to learn the light board.
Yes, you could say learn. It's again, there's a lot of pressure, but if anybody has done like concerts or anything like that, done sound guy stuff for concerts, there's a lot of similarity to being the behind the scenes folk who are always very much needed, and it's exciting. It's fun. I'm running lights and sound for the first time ever in my life. It was always the kind of thing that terrified me, and I never wanted to do it. And then there was suddenly a terrible lack of Gary in the room. And so I rose meagerly to the challenge. We're still getting there, but there's always room to try something new and then to realize how much more complicated and interesting and rewarding it is than you would have ever thought, whether it's acting or directing or, doing crew stuff.
Yeah, so aside from lights, we do have a stage crew. Kim Nelson and Terry Clementson are both on our stage crew this year. Terry is she is rock solid.
Operation manager.
Oh, yeah.
And anyone who remembers Terry from her KMUD days, she's still firing with all cylinders, so it's wonderful to work with her.
Yes.
It's another role that, these are all things that if you're interested, but you don't want to be on the stage, we would love to have people come in and participate. If you want to be a part of the stage crew, that's pretty much just the last week or so of this whole process.
Yeah.
And so it's not like you have to dedicate yourself to 10 weeks of being stage crew.
No, they showed up pretty much for the first time this last Saturday, and we're going on stage Thursday night. So it's a quick run, but boy, is it helpful to have all hands on deck there.
Oh yeah, and if you want even less time that you need to dedicate, concessions is another thing. It's a way to get a free ticket, and it's so appreciated to help come in and just work. That's like a whole other crew that we need to collect at the end of our shows every single time. And I'll just mention again that our show dates are this Thursday, opening night at 7 o'clock, Friday at 7 o'clock, Saturday at 2, and Sunday at 2.
I'd like to speak up for acting, especially for those of you who have never thought about doing it before. I had never thought about doing acting until I was 65. And a lot of us here are involved in politics, and there's a lot of conflict and stuff. But when you get involved in the Redwood Playhouse and the Random People, it's a completely different experience. Unlike what you see on the movies, none of us are competing to be stars. No play is better because one person was really good and the other people aren't. So it's an environment in which the directors especially provide almost a womb of support and nurturance. And the strangest thing is that you can't see or hear yourself like you could in a movie. So you have to totally depend upon these other people to tell you you're doing a good job, and they're great at that.
Good job, Andy. Do you want to mention really briefly about the YouTube channel?
Yeah, so as the board member, I'm also in charge of the Redwood Playhouse YouTube channel, and I've started a broad archiving project where not just the Random People shows, but a lot of these stage productions that have taken place here over the last 20 years were captured and put on DVD. So I have been collecting a bunch of them and putting them through an AI sharpening program and using Final Cut Pro to fix the sound. And so we have a wonderful archive at the Redwood Playhouse YouTube channel. So if you want to get a sense of what we're doing, go check out some of those things. I have playlists, like a comedy playlist and a monologue playlist, so you can pick whatever you want to see. And I do want to ask if any of you would like to help us videotape this year's program. We do a 3-camera shoot every night, so if you have an interest in doing that, I suppose you can email me at andycaffrey@icloud.com. And if you can remember, the theater is spelled with an R-E. The Random People Theater at Gmail, excuse me, at gmail.com address is good too.
Yeah, théâtre.
As far as acting goes, I, like Emily, acted in high school, and then other than, jobs in coffee shops and stuff like that, was never felt like I would be on stage again. But one of the cool things about this group is that we have some veteran actors who have done a lot of really good work. I was unable to be in the performance this year, but John Scanlon is a treasure, and we're going to probably be looking to do some acting workshops over the next year to try and drum up a little more community interest in that, because the more actors we have, the more plays we can produce, the more things we can do, and oftentimes it extends all the way to the writing end of things as well. When I was writing a piece this year, I had several people in mind that I wanted to see them get to explore their chemistry on the stage. And so it becomes pretty remarkable the way these things take life when you do have a collective of such interesting and talented people, and there's always room for more. So I encourage people, like Andy did, even if you never thought about acting or just did it in the past, it's a lot of fun.
It is so fun.
And
It's a blast.
And our shows typically are sold out. It's a great thing to be part of a community experience like that, and it's a hell of a rush.
Yeah.
It's very fun. You should do it, whoever you are.
And whoever you are out there. To both the directors sitting here with me, I want to thank both of you for encouraging us as we are learning and developing our characters, allowing for ad-lib, for our personalities. I mean, I don't think you wrote that character with Northern Michigan accent.
I just wrote her for you, dear.
Good man. Thank you guys for encouraging all of us
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and allowing us to blunder. Boy, when you have a good troupe community, when you miss your line and somehow another person picks up and continues the story and it's a giggle, possibly the audience doesn't even know. And I encourage everyone to come out and try this. It's
Our youngest cast member this year is 11 years old.
Yeah.
And then 2 of our cast members are Recycled Youth alumni, just like fresh in Recycled Youth last year, and now this is a program that they can continue to act in, so that's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're pretty close to our time. You have one more thing to say?
Yeah. So unlike KMUD and the Mateel, we don't have memberships. So this year we are going to try to pull together more volunteers and have a drama club at the Redwood Playhouse on Sunday afternoons. Our first one will be in May, and as a lot of you know, we've lost the Independent, which was a big promoter of us, so we would really like it if you would contact your network to let them know about this and come and sign on to our sign up list at the Playhouse. And Josh Golden, former producer, has started something called So Hum Live. It's our own social network. So if you're an artist of any kind, you might want to go to So Hum Live right now and sign up, and that's going to be our new way of promoting these things.
Very good.
Okay, one more time I'll mention that our show, Randomonium 2025, is coming up this week. Thursday is our opening night at 7 o'clock. Friday is 7 o'clock. And 2 matinee shows, Saturday and Sunday at 2. And we really hope to see you there. I know that the arts, especially in a small community, are so important. And you can't have a show without an audience. So, you're the ones who are going to fill in this extra little piece of the puzzle and help create the magic.
And it's a ton of fun. And we'll see you there.
Very exciting show, yes.
woohoo!
All right, this was Public Affairs. Thank you so much.
Thank you.